Welcome back to Odd Scoops. Today we're going to be making pumpkin pie honey goat cheese ice cream. Well, it is now officially October, and so now we get to play around with a lot of fun fall flavors. Now, last week we spun our wheel of flavor and it landed on our pumpkin honey goat cheese ice cream. Now, this one I'm really excited for because I know honey goat cheese ice cream is a thing. I've not had that particular version, but I have had ice cream with goat cheese, and I really like the tang that it brings to it. Game plan wise, I think I'm basically going to take down this goat cheese that has some honey with it, and I will melt that down into our ice cream base. Also add a little bit of actual honey just to help sweeten it and add more to the honey flavor. Then I will also be taking out the filling of this pumpkin pie and be adding that as well, which will also double as a thickener for our ice cream. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. I feel like this has a really lots of fun, strong flavors, and I'm really excited to see how they pair together. But before we go over to the stove, I'm going to taste this goat cheese with honey and kind of see A, how the cheese tastes, but B, how strong the honey flavor is, because that will determine how much additional honey I add in when we are making our ice cream. Okay, so yeah, this is a very soft cheese right here. You want some? Ooh, that's really good. That's really good. The honey part actually comes through pretty strong. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to maybe start with like a tablespoon of honey, taste the mixture, and then kind of adjust from there. So I'm going to use maybe not quite half of this, but close to it. I think that's probably the right amount. Okay, we're gonna start with our cup of milk. And there's just a smidge left of this, so I'll do a little bit more. Okay, next we're gonna be adding our goat cheese, and this is how much that is. I'm guessing this is a little less than like a quarter cup. All right, we're gonna let this sit for a little bit and start to melt, and then I'll start adding the other ingredients. So next I'm gonna start with just 1 tablespoon of honey, and then we can adjust as we go on and see if it needs more, but I wanna play it safe because the last time I used honey, it ended up being overly sweet because honey tends to be 1.5 to 2 times sweeter than sugar. So you wanna be a little more careful when you're using honey in recipes. Okay, next we are going to be adding our pumpkin pie filling. Now you can go ahead and buy a can of pumpkin puree or stuff and then add your seasoning later. I'd opted to do this. This was more cost effective for me because of the portions, and that way I don't have anything left to waste. But you can do what you want, but this is pre-made, so it helps. So this is looking pretty good. I gave it a taste and I feel like it needs a little more honey. And so I'm gonna be adding a second tablespoon of honey, and that should kind of put it over the edge into that sweet realm that I'm wanting. But so far it is tasting pretty good. Okay, this is looking pretty good. I'm feeling pretty happy with where the sweetness level is at. And so I think this is ready to go ahead and pour. So this is our finished product. Let's go ahead and pour it. All right, that is what that looks like right there. I don't know if you can see, but it almost kind of looks like it's separated a little bit. I think the goat cheese and the pumpkin aren't playing well together right now. So I think that's why there's like these 2 different kind of like white chunks and then kind of more the pumpkin colored chunks. But that's okay, because once this is blended up, it'll all look the same. Smell-wise, I'm getting a really good pumpkin smell, but you can still get that goat cheese smell in there, and like a hint of the honey. So it smells amazing. It's not quite like a pumpkin bread, but it's in that like kind of category. So yeah, I'm really excited to try this because this is interesting because I'm combining pumpkin with goat cheese. And so I'm really excited to see how those flavors pair. From my brief tasting to test the sweetness, it tasted pretty good, but I'm interested to see how that translates to ice cream. So yeah, I think we are ready to go ahead and put this in the freezer. Okay, it is the next day. Let's see how this turned out. Well, that definitely looks like pumpkin. Get a better look right there. Yeah, it still has that pumpkin-y smell, but you could tell there's something else. There's a little bit more kind of tang from the cheese and then a little sweetness from the honey. So the nice thing is all of the flavors that are in here are all strong enough that I can smell them individually, which is nice. But this smells really good. I'm really excited to blend this up. I'm also really interested to see how the consistency of this changes, because I did not include guar gum in this, but I believe because of the pumpkin pie filling, that should act as our thickener, as well as also having the goat cheese in there. It's already going to help thicken this. So I'm really excited to see the texture from this along with the taste. So yeah, I think let's go ahead and blend this up and see how it turns out. All right, that's how that turned out. It is looking pretty good right now. I'm kind of liking the swirls that are in there. Better look kind of right there. Texture-wise, it actually kind of reminds me of the glazed carrot ice cream we made a few months ago, but I'm really excited for this. Texture looks pretty good. Maybe a little soft, but definitely looks like it still can hold its own. But yeah, I'm excited to go ahead and try it. So let's go ahead and dish this up. All right. Oh, actually, yeah, this is a really good texture. And for a topping, I decided I'm going to use some of the pie crust from the pumpkin pie that we used to kind of top this off. Kind of keep that pumpkin pie theme going. All right, that's what that looks like right there. Yeah, I think the things I'm looking for when I'm trying this is how strong the pumpkin is and how much of the goat cheese and honey flavor is coming through. Because my hope is that it's a nice kind of 50-50 between the goat cheese and the pumpkin, and you just get like a little bit of that honey sweetness in there. But we will see. Bon appetit.
That's a 10.
Okay, not to alarm anyone, but this may be the greatest thing I've made. I know I've said that a few times, but I keep somehow one-upping myself. I can't find a flaw for this. Like, oh, I gotta go in for another bite. This, wow, this is good. This right here, this is, I'm trying to find a way to describe this other than this is really good, because it's really good. You get the pumpkin flavor, but it's like the goat cheese itself makes this more, I don't know if refreshing is the right word, but it definitely like lightens it up. Because I know with like fall flavors, especially with the spices, they feel a little bit like heavy, but the goat cheese kind of brightens it up a little bit, where it's not, this doesn't feel as dense as it normally does. And the honey, I'm getting just a little notes of honey. The crust on top, perfect. The only thing I'm thinking to maybe improve this is maybe a smidge of like cinnamon, or maybe cinnamon as a topping as well. I mean, this is a really good texture. Maybe when you're making this, add some cream cheese to it. That could probably help thicken it up a little bit more, but just from this alone, this is a really good thickness to this. So this is a great way to start for October. Like this is gonna be a good month if this is what we're starting with. Yeah, I cannot emphasize enough how good this is. I've made some good ones, but this is the one, especially after coming off of the cheese curd one, I wasn't sure how another cheese themed ice cream was gonna work, and this one worked perfectly. I was speechless. I can't find better ways to describe this other than you need to make this. I'm sure you figured it out by now, but I'm gonna have to give this pumpkin pie goat cheese honey ice cream a 5 out of 5 scoops. Probably one of the easiest 5 out of 5s I've ever had to give. This is incredible, and I can already tell you now, I will be making this again because I still have some goat cheese left over, so I might as well use it making more of this ice cream, because wow. Yeah, apparently pumpkin pie, goat cheese, and honey is a fantastic combination for ice cream, and highly recommend you try making this at home for yourself. Okay, let's go ahead and spin the wheel and see what flavor we land on for next week. Okay, so we're gonna do beet ice cream. That's gonna be really interesting. I have a couple ideas on how to elevate that, so be prepared for that. I'll see you guys next week.